It's the All Birdies No Bogeys podcast, your weekly disc golf analysis podcast right here on JomezPro. I'm your host, Brian Earhart. I'm in Helsinki, Finland. My co-host, Nate Perkins, on the ground out there just south of Oslo, Norway at the Krokhol disc golf course. We just watched a 5-hole playoff. We're exhausted. Everyone's tired. Cameramen had to change their batteries. Everyone was working hard to make this event happen. We're done. Ben Callaway, the champion. Holland Hanley, the champion. Nate, reflect on a weekend at the world's #1 course. How you doing?
Yeah, we heard that a lot, right? World's #1 course, and it really is a special property, right? I mentioned in the broadcast at one point, you just look at the land and you're like, man, they could have put tee pads and baskets anywhere, just absolutely anywhere, and it would have been like top 100. Right. The land's insane. It's just like this rolling hills with these massive kind of schist boulders, protruding from the earth, and the forest has kind of grown on top of that, right? We're pretty far away from Vestnes, the other course in the middle of the fjordlands, right? But Oslo itself is still a fjord, right? So the glacier at one point cut up and created this channel into the earth. But because it's a little bit further south, there's more forest everywhere growing on top of that cut earth. So it's an unbelievable piece of land. It really is the land of trolls and dwarves and elves. It's a little fairy tale forest, right? You like walk into the woods, and they have this moss, Brian, that looks like a little star. So every little like blade of moss that is protruding out and blooming is in the shape of a star. And so there's just like thousands of these little mossy star patterns like all over the forest floor. It's an incredible course. And then you combine it with like good design, that European style with the white stakes everywhere, shorter holes that are like can be played different ways, really technical. It's just great style of disc golf. One of my favorite styles of disc golf to watch and play.
I don't think they can do that. I don't think they can have moss that looks like a star. You can't just have everything out there.
I know, it's crazy. It is. It's beautiful, beautiful property. Like you walk to the tee pad of 13 and there's a whole rock wall. It literally looks like a movie set. It looks like someone was like, okay, let's glue some moss right there. Like, let's put a little waterfall coming down right here. And then let's have a tree growing out of the rock. And then we'll put the tee pad right here. It's just like, you're just like in awe of it. And, I like the lay of the land of the fjords a bit better because of how dramatic the landscape is, and just the vast views that you have, the overlooks that you have at PCS, and you're looking out into the sea, you get these dramatic sunsets. But I really still feel like Krokhol is the more beautiful course and a little bit better like integrated into the lay of the land.
Can you imagine if those two courses were within a city limit of each other? Easy world championship. You get 36 holes of perfectly varied disc golf, really tricky challenges that are very creatively done, ground play, distance, depth perception, soft landings required, different ways to play. I've kind of been in disc golf heaven, just as a huge fan of course design and a huge fan of watching the sport evolve. It feels like we made the players uncomfortable a lot in a good way. We made them get creative. We made them get resourceful. We made them reach deep into the bag. I even think back to hole 1 at the course here at Krokhol. You know what? It didn't have a great scoring spread. There's got to be some way we can challenge them a little bit more. But the shot that they want you to throw, at least for MPO, I think FPO still needs to change. For MPO, that Gannon Burr PD, soft flex, land soft. That's as high level as it gets.
Yeah,
That's
it is
so good.
And even Ben's hyzer today was pretty high level, right? You have such a small window to actually land the hyzer right of the pin and not hit the edge of that hill and roll all the way back down. And most of the time, if you're attacking that basket on hyzer, you're going to skip and go OB left. So today, for Ben to just come out of the gate and like nearly ace the basket and go, what was this putt, like 5 meters back to it? It was incredible, man. That was a
Well,
statement.
we just got done with the broadcast, and we normally start with FPO, but MPO was we can't say instant classic anymore. This whole season has been
Yeah.
great tournament after great tournament after great tournament. Ben Callaway wins after giving us a really poor showing in the final day, making us sweat the entire 18 holes. But then he does that to start the day out. He shows up, he looks super confident, full adrenaline into the hyzer, smacks it, almost aces. And then I love that he almost aces and it just bounces like 10 feet long. Like he threw the perfect shot on that hole to start the day. For MPO, what was your thought all weekend? What was the chatter from the MPO players that you picked up? Like, what was the whole feeling of this tournament from the players' side?
Yeah. I didn't hear a single player, gripe about the course. There's not really anything unfair out there. It's a clean course. OB's pretty tough, and honestly, I was just kind of surprised at how tough it was playing for some people, right? I see that course and the wind was up a little bit, but for the most part, it was pretty protected from the wind. It was northeast wind every time. And a lot of the holes are just pretty protected. I was expecting, double digits to be the minimum, right? I was expecting 10 to 12 under pars like consistently. And I thought it was going to be, well north of 30 under par to win the tournament. And you had players shooting like 6 and 8 over par. I think Jona Heinonen, sorry to pick on you, Jona. I think he shot 10 over day one with like one birdie. It was crazy seeing some of the people. Macbeth starts his tournament, I think 6 over through 5. It was crazy how much teeth it had. And, I've competed here in the past and I don't remember it having the teeth to really like dig into the touring players as it did this year. And what did they end up, 23 or 22 is all you needed to get into that playoff in the end. It was gripping, man. It was pretty gripping down the stretch. I definitely thought that Callaway was going to have to go more than 3 down final round. Certainly thought he was going to have to go better than 3 down. Yeah, man. What'd you make of it?
Okay, we're backing way up. After round one, I was like, who's Jacob Blair? I try to go on
Yeah,
Statmando, can't find him. Jacob Blair is not real. Try to go to DGPT tour standings, not real, not a
not
real
real.
guy. Couldn't find him in the stats, couldn't find him anywhere. PDGA, I mean, it showed like he joined some high school league or something in 2014. Apparently, that was a league that Nate Doss had founded back in the day.
Oh,
So that's
sweet.
pretty cool. But then he didn't join the PDGA until 2019. So 5 years later, very first tournament, from what I remember, was Open Masters Cup at De La
Yeah,
Viega.
yeah.
And I think that was my best finish at Masters Cup.
At
I played.
2019
I think that was the year that we had that crazy day where it rained
rained. Yep,
super hard, but no thunder, no lightning, and it just
yep.
downpoured for 4 hours. I was throwing
I
a
remember
base
that.
plastic Banger GT was the only disc I could hold on to, and I shot
Yep.
even, and it was like 1030 rated or something like that.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, I remember I played with Manabu that day.
yeah, so that's the tournament that was his first PDGA event.
Yeah,
And it was really cool talking to him. I got a little bit from him this morning, actually. He was
cool.
saying that he actually plays Pinto Lake and De La a lot. So both the 2011 Worlds courses. And he said that he feels like those courses perfectly set him up for this track. He said like ground play. He said mental game. The one lesson that De La taught him was completely separating the throw from the result. He said it taught him all of his mental game lessons, which is true because you could throw a perfect shot, hit a root, and then roll 300 feet to nothingness and lose your disc forever. So I understand that. But he just like showed up like he's been here already. And I loved
Dude,
that. Like he was
dude.
awesome.
Man, he made the lead card, which is in itself an achievement just to make it one time. But I think to stay on the lead card after you make your first lead card, if we go back and look, that's a short list of players.
Not many
That
people.
you make your very first lead card ever and stay on it. It almost never happens. And he just wasn't making things complicated out there. He just was, he was throwing great shots, honestly. And he didn't show any signs of like, hey, this is my first time, golfing. Like he looked comfortable, and honestly, he was in it until the 17th.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
He was 20 down. So if he goes birdie birdie on 17 and 18, Jacob Blair could have been in that playoff just as easy as the other three. So huge week for him. I've played with him a couple times at De La, and you don't get to, I think he's 10-16 rated. You don't get to 10-16 rated, by chance. You've got to put work in, and you see the tournaments he's played. He grinds out there on the West Coast, and he's come out to play, I think, a couple world championships, hasn't fared well out there. So for him to make this leap and fly all the way to Europe, book this trip, you're talking like, I don't know, 10K investment on yourself to go out here and try your hand at these European Pro Tour events. So big congrats to Jacob.
Well, he's kind of living the dream right now because he's a manufacturing engineer by trade, and apparently he's gone part-time. This is his setup. Part-time, he's working fully remote for his job now. And as an engineer, like, I don't know what his salary is, obviously. I'm not going to ask. But if you're an engineer living out in California, just up the road from Santa Cruz, you've got to be making some really good money. So part-time is still probably fantastic. Remote, great. So he's working this engineering job part-time, making great
Wow.
money probably, and he's
Good for
playing disc
him,
golf,
man.
man. So this
That's
is
so
like the
sick.
dream setup for someone who's getting their start out there on the tour because he's
That's
playing everything.
awesome.
Like he started at he played Santa Cruz Masters Cup and got on camera with some good players. Then went to Cascade. Then went to Northwest Disc Golf Championship, cashed there, Preserve Championship, missed cash. Went back home, played the Safari up in San Francisco, but then he went and played PCS. He played this tournament, and then I think he's playing European Disc Golf Festival. He's playing Worlds. He's playing Turku. He's coming back to Michigan and going to CCR. He's playing D-Glow. Like, this guy's living it right now. And I'm so happy for him. I'm so excited for him because I don't know what it was like for you, Nate, but it was the most eye-opening experience of my entire life going out on tour in 2018, getting injured right away, and just living out as a bum, tent camping in people's yards that I meet at local leagues. Changed my life for the better, and I can only imagine what this is gonna be like for him. Clearly, he's doing fantastic.
Yeah, man. And just to close off the Blair conversation, you wanna get a taste of how hard it is out here on the Pro Tour. So Jacob had, what did we play? 54 holes. He had 52 good holes, and then he bogeys 16, triples 17, and he gets 14th place. 14th place. Like, he's on the lead card back to back. He's on the lead card final day, and you just falter a little bit down the stretch. He even birdied 18. You
Mhm.
falter a little bit down the stretch, you get 14th place. I mean,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
so hard. Not even a top 10. He's not even clearing $1,000 on the weekend. It's like, it's crazy. It's just hard out there.
And you know what? We need to zoom out for a second. Not even clearing $1,000 for 14th. It's shocking that that's even an expectation. Because when I started touring, when you started touring, $1,000 meant you got top 2, top
Yeah.
3. Like,
Yep.
$3,000 for first place was unbelievable for a national tour. It
Mm-hmm.
would get up sometimes, but our sport has grown so much over the years, and you see some of the sponsors, the big names that are starting to come into European disc golf now. I've heard numbers that it's supposed to triple in size in the next 10 years. Um, it's I think officially the most played sport in Finland. I don't know if it's the most watched
Yeah.
sport, but
That's
it's
what I
officially the
heard.
most played sport in the country of Finland. Like, we've come
Incredible.
so far, and it's almost like
You
something I
feel it when
find.
you're here too.
Oh, yeah, dude. I feel like almost joy sometimes when I see some people online that are maybe newer being like, "That's it?" that's all they get for first place. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, I remember looking at AJ Risley's PDGA profile being like, oh my God, AJ made 11 grand last year. Oh, I wish I could do that.
That's
That sounds, I'd be living so big if I made 11K
I'd
in
be
prize money.
rich.
I'd be rich.
Yeah,
Uh,
so funny.
it to me that also speaks to how polished things look on the outside, like whether it's DGN or some of the post-production stuff that we do, like regardless of the issues that people are seeing, they still have these expectations as if we're
Yeah,
way bigger than we are. And
yep.
a lot of people working really hard to bring us, what we have now. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. And I love coming over here. The next two events are going to be amazing. But I guess like, let's not keep talking about Jacob Blair. Let's talk about Mr. Ben. We got to give this guy his flowers. Like, boom, right off the bat, bogey free, 9 down, leads the tournament. Like, talk to me.
It was smooth, right? He's a smooth guy. Always love watching him play. The great putter thrower. He's throwing this putter turnover on 6. Just an incredibly technical, high level shot. His putting was great. He's doing this pitch putt that is like going right over the rim, right? A lot of the times when he's making it, it's going right over the rim and hitting the bottom of the tray. It's like a proper pitch, right? It just feels like a little brick, and it's looked good. It's looked good for many years. Honestly, his putt
Oh
hasn't
yeah.
changed for what 4 or 5 years or something, Brian, or maybe even longer than that. And this week it looked extra good. Putter really didn't hit the ground too many times first 2 days. He was just playing clean. It's crazy that he didn't bogey until the final day. But when he's playing well, he just makes it look easy, and he's got this kind of proud walk that he's doing. We're just like strutting around the course, and he's always been such a fly guy, right? He's like really well dressed, really professional, really respectful, and easy guy to root for, right? And he's been so close in the past, man. I really thought he was going to take JomezPro down. Was that last year?
He's
The
done it
Navy
twice.
one? Yeah, last year I think down the stretch at JomezPro, but easy guy to root for. And then today it just didn't seem like he had it, right? He bogeys 3 and then made silly mistake on 5. I don't know why he's going big. I don't know why he's throwing the massive shot on 5, the
Do you
big
think he eagled it
turnover.
in practice, maybe?
I don't think he's going for eagle, right? I think if he's going for eagle, he's going to throw something that's not drifting to the right as much, unless he's just missing that shot. But the way that I watched him line it up and release, I wasn't seeing like, hey, I'm going to try and like get this into C1. It's just like, I'm going to go big and drift it to the right. But I don't see how that helps you that much, right? If you just throw the turnover or even the big flick, it's a chip shot there. So he hurt himself in that spot back to back days. Almost bogeyed it today, um, and then made a silly mistake on 7, and it didn't seem like it was his day. And yet Lowry just couldn't quite step up and take it, right? I felt like Lowry was pretty nervous in the big moments. I really saw Lowry get pretty nervous on his putt on the 13th. Can't fault him for that, right? It's like a 10-meter putt toward the OB, but the way that he quickly got to his spot, he kind of holds the disc out in front of him, elbow out to the right. He just so quickly got to that spot and let it go. And then I'll flash forward to the 16th for Lowry. What is it about that hole, Brian, that was eating the field alive? What is it?
I don't
Why
know.
is it so hard?
You know what it is? I said it on the broadcast. I think it is the most perfect placed basket on a green that I've ever seen. Like I don't think I would ever move it anywhere because it's just it's like centered up on the tee pad. So you're looking straight at it. If you actually want to stick the bullseye and not have to worry about the putt, you're gonna have to throw something either over the left side and fade towards the OB. Raven Newsom was doing that, which I think is so scary. Or you're hanging a shot over water, you're throwing downhill, so the nose is going down. You don't want to catch any sort of airtime. Oni Rusanen did that and went OB. So you're throwing down. Ricky made this mistake twice. He took a zone, and I think that zone, I think it's a TI zone that he's throwing, something like that. He's throwing it straight down, and I think it's starting to flip a little bit too much because if there's any wind, it cracked over and went OB. Multiple guys had that same problem. Jakub, same thing, pulled it, didn't quite come back, nose down, pushed it straight OB. And if you soft it, you got a 35, 40 footer looking at the OB that you're going to lay up. And it's
So they're trying
frustrating
to
to
park
have to
it.
do that.
They're trying to park
They
it.
just want to putt,
Yeah.
but the putt is very specific. So I don't know. I think it's in the perfect spot. That whole stretch, 15, 16, 17, 18, like 15 even, it grew on me every weekend. It seems so easy. Why is it so hard? Am I missing something?
No, it's a hard hole. I think it's hard because the MPO, they're far back there, right? There's a ton of airspace. And so if you get the nose angle wrong at all, or if you tip too much hyzer, too much ante, it just kind of exaggerates that miss. And it's tight, man. It's a tight hole. The landing zone, both landing zones, landing zone 1 and landing zone 2, like right where you're trying to throw is where the OB pinches in. Like the designers were brutal with it. They were just like, "Oh yeah, well, let's just bring the OB in." They brought it like another 20 feet in from last year and previous Krokhols. And holes hard. I think you can make it easy if you have a disc that you feel comfortable just like starting out off flat and finishing flat. And then the second landing zone is kind of blind, is why I think so many people, even if they got their first one in, were struggling with that second one because it's blind. And if you get to the top of the hill, it's like a little over 100 meters, probably 110 meters, 360, 370 to approach with yet another basket where you don't want to putt from distance. So the people are trying to park it, then they're rolling downhill OB. But yeah, that one bit a lot of people. I think what Daniel Davidson round 2 was like shredding the course, took a
Got a
9 on that hole.
9.
Took a 9 on that hole. Yeah, the finish to Krokhol is nasty, unpredictable. Yeah, Ben going OB early like that and then taking the optional drop zone, throwing from FPO pad, chipping down the hill, and then just casually throwing the putter up. I thought that was a pretty big moment for him. He did that, I think he did that 3 times during that final round, where he took his medicine. Like, what was the other one? Hole 7. He did it on hole 3. He didn't try and get up and down. He pitched out, got up and down for the bogey. And then hole 7, he pretty much conceded the par, pitches out and ends up missing the putt. But I
I
thought that
couldn't
was
believe
just
that.
the missed putt on 7.
No, the failure to try anything. It feels like
Yeah,
you could even try a roller because of the right side, you have all that pocket of
there's
space,
no
like, take your
OB.
flippiest disc and just, like, jack one over
Yeah,
and see what happens. But
yeah.
to me, like, on the outside, yeah, I'm thinking about that, but the fact that he took his medicine, like you said, and just took the bogey and said, "Alright, cool. I'm gonna keep my stress levels down. I'm just gonna go bing, 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 and just get out of here." Cool. The one thing I gotta
Says a
say,
lot.
hole 5, he goes super aggressive, never pays off for him rounds 2 and 3. I didn't see what he did in round 1. Lowry gets the birdie. First swing. Lowry just goes chip forehand, plays the wind, bang, gets up and down, takes the birdie, takes the stroke on Ben. Hole 7, Ben goes aggressive again, burns it too far right, can't get up and down, takes the bogey. Lowry fails to take the stroke on him, which I think is
Yep.
a pretty big failure.
That was a big missed putt. He was nervy for that one too. I mean, I say that he's nervy. That's speculation. It seems like when he's like hyper aware that this means something is when he falters, right? And that's the greatest part of the game, right? Is being able to exist in that moment when it means so much and like still walk through the door, right? Lowry's able to go into this, like, we've seen him shoot, close to 1,100 rated rounds on the
Oh,
Disc
he's
Golf Pro Tour.
unbelievable.
He goes into this kind of robotic, this Finnish robotic mode. And yet when it comes down to it and it's like, hey, this is for the win or this is to take the lead with a few to go, he falls. And we heard Esapeka talking about that, on the broadcast and off it. He's like, I don't know what it is with these Finns, but they're missing the X factor, right? And so I'm just speculating, but from my perspective, that looked like one of those moments. Lowry looked like he was like, "Oh, this is to take the lead, right? This is for the lead," and then not a good putt, right into the bottom of the cage.
And then 11, that's the other one where I was like, wow, he just messed up the shot. It's not even the optimal play on the hole.
Yeah, the
Messes it up.
hyzer.
Lowry fails to get the two-stroke swing on him. And each time, Ben went one way, got punished. Lowry takes the different approach. It's great. He got the stroke on him on 2 of those holes, failed to get a two-stroke swing on any of them, parred all the other ones, except for 5. And
I don't like that hyzer on 11. I actually commented on Ben's Instagram. He posted throwing that hyzer. I was like, I don't like that hyzer, man. I'm like, dude, it's sketchy, dude. He's flattened that out. You're in no man's land, and he was. He could have, I mentioned on the broadcast that it was almost re-tee territory. It's one of those like, what Epic call it, the Mirkwood or something.
No, not Mirkwood. It's some Finnish name for like jail.
Yeah,
Or
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
Ben went grenade. It could have hit right in front of him and just fallen right back to him. That's how dense it was over there. Ends up getting a single bogey, but
Yeah, it was just chaos until the very end. It was
yeah,
wild to think we might have a 5-way playoff if these guys go birdie birdie to finish. Gannon screws up on 17. Gannon's out of the
yeah,
race. It felt like any
huge
mistake you
miss.
make,
Couldn't believe it.
yeah. But at the end of the day, we we end up with a 3-way playoff, and I don't know how Ben is feeling in this moment. I wish we could have gotten him on the show today, but it's going to be a long night for Benny Boy. There's a lot of people ready to celebrate with him, but he shoots a 3 down, gets into the playoff with Jakub and Mauri, and I want to ask you this question. They said before the event, we're playing 18 on repeat. I don't like it. I don't share a lot of like hard opinions. I don't like it. I actually frankly don't like when we repeat any hole. I understand operationally, like when they finish the tee off on hole 1, a lot of times ops guys are out there pulling stuff down. Like, especially if they say, hey, 18 is going to be the playoff hole. They're trying to run through the course, rip through it. They've worked 14-hour days for a week straight. They want to be done. But I just feel like give me 16, 17, 18 on repeat. That's the whole narrative of the entire tournament. If we got to
Exactly.
cart them up to 16, 17,
Exactly.
18, they're all kind of in the same vicinity, aren't they?
Yep. That's it. That's it. If you don't want to do one, which I kind of always feel just from like the integrity of golf that you should, if you have a playoff, you should go to hole 1 and play the course. That's how I've always felt like is the natural order of things. But if you don't want to do that because of an operational situation, absolutely go to 16. I think that the idea of finishing on the 18th green is a part of the reason why someone would make that decision, right? They want that to be the final hole, that's the most spectators can
It's
see
true.
it. Like
It's true.
everyone can see it. So I get it. It's a romantic idea to have like your whole, your community, like all the 1,000+ people like around the green, and it's a beautiful green. You got a pond right there. You got the, the big tiered, forest above it. It's great. Ideally, the tournament finishes there, right? But they didn't think it through. I don't think, that you
What
could
about an
just play
aggregate
that
playoff,
whole.
though?
I like the aggregate as well. I think the aggregate's cool. I think you do 15 through 18 aggregate. Like,
Mhm.
no one, they're not going to tie. There's a really low chance that they're going to tie. So I like the aggregate. And man, without Jakub missing, how far was that? 4 meters?
6 meters, yeah,
It
4 meters
was
maybe, not
six
far.
meters. Without him, missing that, like we could just go for another hour. I think it was close to an hour for them to play, and there was nothing stopping from it just continuing. I mean, the sun was never going to go down. We're in the land of midnight sun. It was still high in the sky. It was crazy, Brian.
Mauri Vilman actually posted that he made it to the Oslo airport while they were still competing.
No way.
Yeah. Yep. He was
Wow.
like already ready to get back. He's ready to get to Estonia. Life's good. They're still playing the same two hyzers and soft touch to the green. I think the hole's great. If the wind was up to 20 miles an hour, everything changes. And I think that's a very interesting part of disc golf is that you have to design with the wind in mind. I don't think this was a failure whatsoever. I really don't.
Right.
But it just so
No.
happens that
No.
a hole that really banks on you struggling with the wind. Like then that second shot down to the zone, pretty tough. Then the touchy shot up to the green, pretty tough. And then if the wind is in the right direction, you're starting to think, okay, maybe I do go power hyzer over the green and try to go for the eagle and take the birdie
Yeah.
putt.
Yeah.
But no wind. It's just like Jakub throws that shot every shot anyway. Like he just throws overstable, bing,
Just
flat,
yanks it
crash
over.
out every time. It's just like a robotic, like push a button and it's going to go do that. And I knew it was going to happen on the green. I knew that was the problem. And finally he cracked. But I, for the people that don't know, I've watched Ben's journey for a long time. I stood up at his wedding. He's a good friend of mine. We've played so many practice rounds together. Um,
Oh, cool. You stood up at his wedding?
Yeah, I
Oh, that's
gave a
special.
speech at his wedding,
Oh,
a
come
and,
on.
I talked to him or I talked about him telling me that when Ruby was born, his entire life changed, and I kinda spoke on that because when he was younger, he had the worst mental game of anyone I've ever met. He had the worst temper of any disc golfer that I'd ever played disc golf with in my life,
Dang.
and you would never know that now,
No.
but
He's
he
so
was kinda
sweet.
scary to play with when he was younger, like, over a decade ago, and, uh, he was just a little rough around the edges, and when Ruby was born, he said it literally gave him a new reason for living, and for some reason, he's like, "I can't have my daughter know me as that guy," and instantly it changed, and I will never forget him telling me that. I'll also never forget a couple years ago, it's when he got moved up to the elite team, and he got a signature disc. He put so much pressure on himself to succeed, to the point where he played like garbage. I think he
I
had a
remember
really
that year.
garbage year. I think he had a
He
couple big
did.
moments, but,
What was his
he was
disc?
he had an
What was it?
Undertaker.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he just couldn't do it, and he was like, "I hate the road life. I can't be out here. I'm done. Like, I just put too much pressure on myself. I hate this game.
Yeah.
It just feels too much like a job now." And
Yep.
I looked at him and I was like, "I get that, but you've put too much work in to not give it the full 5 years." He said Sarah and him kind of agreed on 5 years that he would try this and go as far as he could.
Yeah.
He's approaching 40 at this point.
Yeah. I
Um,
think he might be the oldest disc golf pro tour champion.
yeah, he actually might. I haven't
I
checked
think
on
he
that.
might
We don't
be
have a good database on that, but
38. 38. I mean, real quick, off the
yeah.
top of your head, who's close? Right? Cam Todd won national tour in 2016.
Sexton win anything a couple years ago?
Mm, that's a good point. When was his last win? It was
I don't think it was 2023.
it, no, it was before that, right? It was Ledgestone.
That was a long time ago. That was like 2018 or 17 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, or
So
19 maybe.
yeah, I think he's the oldest disc golf pro tour champion.
Yeah.
Macbeth mentioned something to me. He asked me. I'm like, yeah, I think you're dead on. Yeah, I remember that time period when Ben was talk. I remember playing with him actually, and I remember him speaking on that. Like, hey, I don't think I don't think I can do this. I've got to go and provide for my family. And she's just like, yeah, I get it, man. It's hard. It's hard to do it out here. And you know, it's it's such a sacrifice to put those doubts aside and to continue on and to make it happen. Yeah, it was emotional on the green today. He kind of choked up. I meant to say something about you, and I just the moment was big. You know that it all goes by so quick, and I'm sorry I didn't bring you up, Brian,
Yeah,
but I
you
meant
got
to.
the interview, not me. I told him all those years ago,
I know, dude.
I said, "You just wait, man, because me and you are gonna be sitting there on the green of 18, and I'm gonna give you the biggest hug in the world." And you got the interview. But you know what? I got the Kristen Grand Slam interview, so I don't care. I got that. I got the Matteo interview, so I got my good ones. But yeah,
Yeah,
just
I interviewed Kristen on her first pro tour win, and it my favorite part of the job, hands down, is to ask someone a question and to see it kind of infiltrate and them he started to choke up. I'm like, talk about the sacrifice that you've made, right? It's a simple question. I'm not a genius or anything. It's a super simple question, but for him to show that emotion, oh man, it was
you
just making
cracked
me
him.
choke. It was making me choke up, and I got a ride home from a Norwegian. He went out of his way to take me back here so we could hop on the pod, and he's like, man, I saw his lips quivering, I saw his like hand quivering, and he's like, and that like everyone understands. He's like, everyone understands that when he starts talking about his daughter and his mom or his wife, and yeah, it was just it was cool to kind of get that glimpse into the emotion that this win caused for Ben.
I also don't think, how many guys started going on tour when they were 30? Like, I think he was like, what, 32 or 33
Well,
when he went
when did he win? What U.S. AMs? What did he win? U.S. Nationals?
2011.
2011. So he was like mid 20s or something.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was there.
14,
I played there, yeah.
24. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
thought
so
he
he
was
didn't
like
start
God.
touring until 30.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You thought he was God.
I did, dude. I
The
watched him
way he
throw and I was like
throw a putter, yeah.
because I'm pretty sure I was this like highest rated or second highest rated player at that tournament. And I went in there like, "Oh, I'm so sick. I'm gonna win this." I had never played anything like the toboggan, so
It was at Toboggan, yeah.
I got my ass just whooped. And I played with Ben Askren that round, funny enough, and
Wow.
uh, get well soon, Ben Askren too. Like I
Man,
heard the whole
so
situation about him,
fortunate.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
so
just
fortunate to see those updates. How crazy is it?
yeah.
Life is precious, man.
But I remember I played with him first or second round. Ben Askren got second place. Yeah, Callaway was 964. I was 971 at that time, and I
Wait, Ben
got like
Askren got second place
yeah, Ben
to
Askren was like
Callaway?
over
That's
1,000 at one
sick.
point.
That's
Yeah,
sick.
he was 970. He was higher rated than Callaway. Um, and I just thought Ben was so nasty, just watching him play. And you know what's crazy? Back then, Ben has or had, I don't know if he still has it. It was a degenerative gum disease. I believe, yeah, I believe that's what it was. Where his teeth just didn't grow, so he had no teeth up until he was had enough money to buy implants, and now he has a full mouth of teeth. And he got it
Wow.
right when Ruby was born, I believe.
Wow.
His wife Sarah is a dental hygienist, or she works somewhere in the dental industry. But Ben just like was this guy with like no teeth who had like a big
And like his
temper, and I was
smoothest
like,
putter throw.
"Oh my god, he's like the best thrower I had ever seen at the time." He was unbelievable, but I just like was kind of in awe of this character. Um, and over time, we actually connected through playing catch. I saw him playing catch with Mike Robinson. I'm not sure if you've ever played with Mike Robinson,
I
MDR,
haven't.
I think they call him, from Iowa or Quad Cities. And I asked to get in on it, and I met Ben through that, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is like the super like nicest guy that I've met." And ever since then, we've been buddies, and it's been just really nice to see him take things more seriously in life when it comes to disc golf because I always knew he had the talent to do it. But then he got his taste of what tour life was actually like, and I wasn't sure if he was going to keep going. Um, So yeah, I was like,
That's cool, man. That's cool that
yeah.
you have that bond with him. And yeah, man, what a cool moment for you to call it down the stretch too. For
And I was alone in the booth too. I don't know if
yeah,
anyone
that's
listening
crazy.
heard this because we get to the playoff and Esapeka turns to me. He goes, "I gotta go," and I'm like, "What?" He's like,
He got a gig, right?
"I gotta go play a gig." Esa-Pekka Tuppila, for those of you who don't know, is the principal trombone player for the Finnish Navy. Like he's big dog trombone player, and he had some gig tonight. I'm not sure if it was with the Navy or for something else,
No,
but
it's
he's
probably
like,
with his jazz band.
yeah, he's like, I gotta go. And I was like, okay, we'll hold it down. It's all good. Uh,
That's cool, man.
but yeah, it's the second playoff that's been over 5 holes that I've called so far. I called the 6-hole one with Eagle and
Yeah,
was it
I
six
was.
holes?
It was Eagle and Isaac and PEI. I was there. I was on the ground, and yeah, it was 6.
Yeah. So it was just crazy stuff, and our camera operators were having to change their batteries. The drone operator had to change the drone
Yeah,
batteries, and
the tournament's just like malfunctioning.
it's
Eagle and
not supposed
Isaac
to
are
be
just
like
gonna
that.
birdie it forever. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, crazy results there on that side of the tournament. But also, we got to just real quick talk about FPO. It wasn't as insane as what played out in MPO, but Holland Hanley wins. She comes over, she does her job, she takes command. Leading into these two majors, especially after what I just saw, I have to say that she's the favorite to win both of them. Am
Straight
I
up,
crazy
huh?
in saying that?
I felt like she's the most talented player for some time. I've been receiving quite the flack out there on the internet as we do for sharing our opinions. But I just feel like she's the most athletic player.
We get flack.
I've people like standing up for Kristen. When you've got a champion like Macbeth, or you got a champion like Kristen, when you say anything that goes against their reign, you're gonna get flack. And I feel like Holland is just already more athletic, and not to say that Kristen, Missy, even Silva, like they don't have the mental fortitude. They're all really intelligent, high IQ golfers in their own way, but I still feel like the way that Holland approaches the game has always been really impressive to me, right? Kristen's got this like kind of spiritual approach to it, right? Staying in the moment. But Holland is more of like the pure athlete approach to it, and it's just been really impressive to watch her rise. I mean, she signed up for the PDJ in 2020, Brian.
I know. Yeah,
20 she just won her 7th
yeah.
pro tour. It's like it's insane how quickly someone didn't even know about disc golf, finds disc golf, signs up, and then is traveling across the world and beating the best players in the world. And she doesn't have a lot of holes in her game. She what was it, 2 years ago, she obviously couldn't handle the pressure moments down the stretch. Like she had, I think it was 5 or 6 tournaments where she was the leader heading into Sunday, and she let them all slip. Right? It wasn't until Beaver State last year where she finally like had the lead and came through. But since then, she doesn't really show those same signs. Like this was the defining moment right here. 13, if you're watching on JomezPro, she actually lost her Raptor day one, Brian. She was 8 down through 12 holes, heading into the 2 easiest holes on the course, I think, 2 of the easiest, hole 13 and 14. It's a stock, like flat to hyzer Raptor for Holland. She pulls the Raptor wide. She goes OB in the pond, and you see the Raptor just kind of floating down into the silt. She never gets that Raptor back. I was taking the bus with her and her partner and caddy Tyler each day. We are taking the 550 bus into the course, and I'm talking to her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, we went back there. Tyler got in the water and couldn't get it. It was gone the next day." So she's trying to throw it. Different Raptor day 2 on the 13th. Hyzers, hits the tree, goes OB again. right? So she's bogeyed that hole 2 days in a row. She steps up 13. She's got one stroke over Silva. Silva parks the hole. Silva absolutely backhand skips into the bullseye. Holland puts it at 8 meters, looking at pure death putt. Like, can't draw up any more pressure than that, right? And Holland goes through her routine. She's displaying patience, displaying focus, and just buries it in the heart on the 13th. And for me, that was the defining moment of the tournament, right? It shows you that, hey, you ready to play. She gave us like the triple fist pump, looked back at the crowd, she knew what it meant, and then she did the same thing on the 15th, right? She made the putt. I think it was for par, but she had like a 10-meter putt, pure death putt. Silva's parked again. Pressure's like fully drawn up, and Holland buries that putt as well, like right on the pole. And she's just able to show up when the pressure's there. She's got every shot. She's got the most powerful forehand, maybe outside Ella Hansen, Evelina sometimes, but one of the most powerful forehands in the game, like 400 feet, flat to hyzer. She's showing touch with her putters. She's got these little nose up challengers shots. It's she's dialed, man, and I think that she's in my top three for both the majors as well. I think I can't say that she's my clear favorite for the World Championships. I still feel like Kristen has a bit of aura to her that she's going to be able to find at Worlds on the biggest stage. But there's no question that Holland's top three for me next two majors.
Who's your third in that list?
Yeah, Silva was kind of off my list before this week, right? Her performance at European Championships was somewhat concerning, right? We can chalk that up to wind, but that tournament means a lot for Europeans, and she got smoked. She
Yeah,
got
but it's like
totally
70-mile-an-hour gusts at times. There's
yeah.
no chance.
No, that's what we can chalk it up to the wind, but it wasn't that windy every day, and Evelina had to play in the same wind, right? Kristen had to play in the same wind,
Yeah,
so
but they throw those shots, and, like, I don't think you're gonna get those gusts at the courses that we're playing the majors at. That's all I'm saying.
no,
Like,
you're right. You're right.
yeah,
We're playing in a fjord, right? The basket is on the edge of the
yeah.
ocean, right? It's exposed. You're spot on with that, Brian. And I think that you could put asterisks next to the loss at European Championships, but for me that hurt her stock a bit. And Krokhol, I think, is somewhat of an indicator of the Estonian major next week, and somewhat of an indicator at the Beast. But I think the monster at Tampere, I don't think we can really like compare across the board Krokhol monster, right? The shots you have to throw to score at the monster are on another level of difficulty, right? You have to be roping shots. And I think Silva can do it, but I think that she's kind of stretching her limit on some moments at the monster, right? I think she can piece up the beast. I think she can like birdie every hole at Estonian major. But I think that player like Kristen, player like Holland has a bit of a leg up on Tampere. And are we playing it three times and the beast twice? That's got to be it, right? Beast twice, Tampere three times. Fit.
I don't know, actually. I haven't
I don't
gotten
know
that
actually either because
schedule
we're
yet. I'm
probably
not gonna speak
probably
on it.
finishing at the beast.
We are finishing at the Beast.
Got to finish at the beast. Anyhow, either way, the shots are premium, and Silva's pushing her limit there. I think Missy Gannon's absence is a little concerning, but I think they're right there. I think for me it's Kristen, Holland, Missy, and Silva. Like Missy
No
and Silva
Evelina.
are like tied. Evelina, absolutely. Like, where do I put Evelina?
She's won 3 in a row.
She's won 3 in a row. She's an
Come
animal.
on.
She's throwing premium shots. Like, I just, in time
She's
and time again,
winning.
look, time and time again, Brian, she's proven us wrong that you don't need to putt to win. But I still felt like Worlds last year, I still was shooketh that she was the one who came out on top, because when you can't make a putt outside 5 meters in the last like 3 rounds of play, like it's just not going to happen more often than not. So Evelyn is there too. I mean, it's impossible for her to not be, top three. And putting one over the other. Is there anyone? What's a better question than is she in the mix? Of course she is. Is there anyone else outside of that crew right there that is in contention at these majors?
You want to know what? You want to know who I think is that person?
Yeah.
I think the Chainsaw has laid down enough good rounds to where I think Cadence Burge is just going to be like, "Oh, what did she do? Her like hair was getting in her eyes when you were interviewing her." And she's like, yeah, it was a great round. I shot 9 down or something like that." She's
Like,
just
I didn't even know I got the last 7 in a
yeah.
row.
She's like, "I had no idea how I was shooting." I think she's
Mhm.
just gonna be out here and put up some numbers that will make her be on camera multiple times. She is
Yep.
so much better than I think we even know,
The
and
putting's insane.
unbelievable, and
It's
her throw is
insane.
perfect. It's this nice, powerful, smooth hyzer flip,
Yep.
and it's not too steep. Her sidearm needs some work, obviously, but I don't think she's gonna need it. Like, maybe at Tampere, I don't think you're gonna need it at the Beast. There's a couple shots that are a little tougher because you don't have the sidearm, but dude, she's just she is so, so, so good. So that's
What'd
my
she
pick.
shoot? Nine today? Shot 9 today,
Yeah,
just
with a
blanking it
bogey on
out.
1 and 18.
She was actually putting pressure on Holland and Silva. They were looking at the scores, like I saw them look at the scores, and both kind of like, wow, Cadence is in the mix. Her her youth was definitely on display a bit during round 2 with, I mean, when you're having a bad day, it can happen to anyone, but the the immediate like expectation and not meeting your own expectation and going into a rut, like I saw her just kind of dip into a rut. Yeah, Chainsaw's up there as well. I think she's outside of that list for me. I think she still has some more to prove. um
Prove him
but she,
wrong, Chainsaw.
yeah,
Get him.
she is fun to watch play, man. That like driving hyzer putt,
Mm.
it's pretty wicked. Over and over again. Like she made one from like 12 meters today on 12 for like her like fifth in a row or something. It was fun to watch, and she's got a good thing going with her dad. Her dad's been on the bag, and they seem to be having a good rhythm.
Yeah, I think everything's going pretty well for her right now. Like, how could it not? Life's good. You're like
Yeah,
18 years old, just graduated high school.
got this
You're
new
getting
career
paid to
path in
come.
front of
Yeah,
you.
you like.
Insane.
I don't know. Life is so good, and she has a family that supports her, and that's pretty sweet. And that's my pick for like kind of a sleeper. But for me, FPO Worlds, FPO Major in Estonia,
You got Holland one.
Holland 1, Evelina is going to be 2. And then it's going to be a toss-up tie between Silva and Kristen. Kristen's putt just coming down the stretch. Her putt is just going, and uh, it's not like, oh, she's just missing by a little bit and just missing
Yeah,
low or something.
airballing,
She's missing.
airballing.
So I think it's going to be one of those wins where if she wins, it's going to be a really emotional win for her. I think she knows. She knows that missing those short putts doesn't feel good, but she's trying to manage. She's trying to just continue on. But I don't feel the same level of confidence in her to win these majors that I did a year ago or 2 years ago. Obviously, 2 years ago, that was like the best season of disc golf we've ever seen. But I just think Holland, she showed up ready to play. She took a little time off, didn't play the PCS. And she was in the gym, she was in the field. Um, so yeah,
That was
I don't
cool what
know.
she said about New Zealand too. She's like, "Oh yeah, New Zealand was actually the first time I traveled and got a sense for what the jet lag is gonna do and like how much time my body needs." That's what I love about Holland. Is she's just an athlete. She's dialed. She's like, "Oh yeah, I was feeling this way on this specific day, so took a little time off and didn't train as hard, didn't throw as hard, and just kind of dialogue that we don't really hear from disc golfers too often. Starting to hear it more, but
Yeah,
I've been like diving deep into Wimbledon. I've been glued to Wimbledon this weekend, and hearing those players talk about their games, it just kind of illuminates a bit where disc golf is going and needs to go and where the athletes need to go. Like they are talking about specific things of like, oh, my elbow felt like this day, so I was flattening out my backhands a little bit, like, just like zooming in on the specifics of it. And I think that's part of what makes them like great champions and really just like self-aware athletes. And I've sensed that from Holland. I just like sense that level of awareness about her game and what she needs to do to be at that like peak performance level.
I agree. Well, before we do a quick preview of the Estonian Disc Golf Festival, who's your top three for the next two majors in MPO?
In MPO, man, how tough is this, right? It's Gannon Burr and gosh, it's so tough, dude. It's
There's not
so
one
tough.
killer right
It's like
now.
no, there's really not. Like and picking three for me is hard because I feel like it's more like seven. It's like AB is someone that comes to mind, but he just seems to be messing around. And you would ask me this question 5 days ago, Adam Hammis would have been, in my top five. He totally messed around this week. I think he missed cash. I think he won last week, and I think he missed the cash this week. I still feel, for some reason, Brian, I still feel like Paul Macbeth is going to be in contention. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I know he hasn't shown up. He shot 9 down today to get back in it. He was well over par before that. Barely cashed this week, or he might have got like 20th, 25th or something. But and it's all talk on the internet that he's washed. But he's won European Open what, like 6 times. I think he won it 5 times in a row. And when I think of what happens, what tends to happen at the majors, biggest stage, like the cream kind of rises, right? And we see even when was it 23, the playoff with Goose, was that, or
22.
that was 22? That was 22. Macbeth wasn't in the conversation. He wasn't in the conversation going into that Worlds and rose to the top to get to the sixth there. I think he's going to be in contention. I don't know if I put him in my top three. I'll go Gannon Burr. I'll go Isaac Robinson.
Got to put Isaac in there.
I want to put like a Sullivan Tipton's been really impressive to me. I feel like he could live pretty clean out there at the Beast, shoot a couple double
Sully?
digit rounds out
Yeah,
there.
baby.
Man, he's had some magic, and I got to put AB in there as well though. I think my top three are Gannon, Isaac, AB, and then if I extend it out to fifth, I'm gonna go Rick and Paul.
Okay. Rick was spraying this week. I don't know what was going on. He was like brilliant and then like opposite of brilliant in some moments. I don't know. His demeanor was very strange, but
I got to
my
put Nicholas in there. I got to put Nicholas in there.
I was going to say, so mine
I
is
got to go.
Niklas.
I got to go. I got to go Gannon, Isaac,
Yeah.
Nicholas. I got to go
Uh
Gannon, Nicholas, Isaac.
I don't
Nicholas has to be in there. I know he didn't show up last 2 weeks, but dominated European championships. He's got to be in there. He's going to have the finish just like entourage on his side.
I think my top 3 going into both of these: Ricky, Niklas, Isaac. I still
Wow.
I want to see Gannon win Worlds. I just feel like he openly just says how much pressure he puts on himself, and I just don't know. And Isaac just seems to come out of the woodwork like, "Hey guys, remember me? I'm the best major player in MPO right now." And Ricky just played great at this tournament last year in Estonia. Um, just thrived out there. It's not a hard course. It's a
No.
sprinting course.
Birdie fest.
Um,
Yep.
so I feel like someone who's just dialed in on some of the simple shots.
Cool. Even with him
What?
spraying, even with you just saying that he's spraying,
Yeah, but
you up there.
how many shots out there at this EDGF are like rip over driver shots?
Yep.
Like that's what he was
Half.
screwing up.
Half of them.
Half? Well, we'll see. But he almost won and played pretty bad this past weekend. So
I know. It's crazy. What, he
like bad
doubled
bad.
the first hole? Doubled the first hole? Like,
Yeah.
and then he's still in it on the 18th. Was he going for eagle? You think he was trying to push deep?
I don't know.
You think
I'm
he's like,
not
I don't want to
sure.
play off? Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, man. It was weird, but he was making the same mistake over and over. He was trying to yank these flexes over, but he was throwing them like 10 feet too low. Um, but anyway,
Yeah,
that's my
picking
thought.
picking three is it's tough, right? And don't want to do a lot of the players injustice out there. And to me, the difficulty of picking such few players to be in contention, it shows you where our game's at, right? Like I'm like this is my job, right? It's my almost full-time job to analyze this, and it's hard because there's 15 guys that could win the tournament, and I
Oh,
think that
there's more
just
than that.
it says a lot about where our game's at. It's in a good spot. Both divisions are in a great spot. Um, yeah, there are more than 15. Half the people in the field could potentially win. Half the people in the field have the skill set to birdie enough holes when it comes down to it. But I think it's like 15, maybe 20 people that have the class to play 5 rounds and be a world champion.
So we're gonna close things up by me asking you what it's like out there. You called the tournament last year. What do you see out there on that course in Estonia, and what do the people watching get to look forward to?
Well, first of all, it's one of the more, I guess, like prestigious venues that disc golf's ever visited, right? This is a very, very special place in the eyes of every single Estonian, right? Estonia just gained their independence from the Soviet Union, I think 1992, right? And this is the site where they sang for their independence, right? I think over 100,000 people gathered here at Lilavark Park and sang for their independence from the Soviet Union. So that that in itself is just insane that Estonia sees disc golf and values disc golf enough to greenlight a disc golf course on these kind of hallowed grounds, right? And it's right in the city of Tallinn, which Tallinn is one of the cultural hubs of Europe. There is a 13th century fortress that is almost fully intact that they've turned into like a downtown setting. And this is just like walking distance from the course. So Tallinn is incredibly romantic city, just classic kind of European, just those spires, like the towers that kind of just like reach up into the sky with like old metal and on top of like these like bricks that look like a castle. Like it's just a romantic skyline and has this rich culture to it. And it's an amazing place to travel for disc golf. And the course itself, Brian, is we touched on it before, but it's a straight sprint, right? What did Ricky shoot 16 or 17?
16 or 17 down there.
16
Yeah.
or 17 day one. I think that the bar is going to be close to that each day. If we're playing 4 rounds at this course, I think that it's going to be north of 40 for sure.
I love that.
It's going to
Love
be north
that.
of 40. I think it's going to be somewhere, around 45. I think you're going to have to almost average 15, which is ridiculous, unfathomable to average 3 pars a day on an 18-hole course. But that's where the bar is going to be set. And I don't think what's interesting about this whole thing is I don't know how a player could possibly how this like back-to-back major thing is going to affect them, right? Like how does a player like go out there and truly give it their all, knowing that the Worlds is like looming on the other side of it? That's the only thing that I think slightly takes away from this Estonian major, is that Worlds is like a week and a half after. What's your take on that aspect of it?
Well, I'm going to throw it quickly back to you. Do you think anybody's going to go back to back? Do you think someone's going to go back to back majors in either division?
Yeah, that would be insane. I think the chances are low. Chances are low. I don't think Estonian course is too much of an indicator of the golf that you need to win at the Beast or Tampere. But I also think that if a player goes out there and dominates, that potentially, could be a catalyst for like an insane amount of confidence heading into Worlds. So I don't think it's going to happen, but that would surely, be entertaining, kind of break the game.
Yeah, well, I think somebody will. I think someone in FPO or MPO is going to go back to back. And we'll save this for when I'm right, and we can clip this and put this online after the fact. So I look like a genius. So that sounds really cool. Nate, I'm gassed. We got
Me too, dude.
We got a
Me
busy
too.
couple of weeks. You're kind of sick. You're dealing with fever, man. I'm so happy that you're here doing this show, but this was kind of a tired show. It's like midnight here. Actually, I don't know what time it is. I have to find a way to get back to my apartment.
Is the bus still going?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at the studio. It's like a half hour.
Hopefully the bus is still going.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully some crazy Uber driver can take me back for a bunch of money.
Man, it's
but
crazy
yeah.
that we start Wednesday. Does the tournament start Wednesday?
Yeah, I got a bunch of work to do tomorrow. The Superstar Challenge starts on Tuesday. I'm calling that one with EPT, and then not Wednesday, but Thursday is when the tournament starts, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, Wednesday was
Thursday,
like
Friday,
press
Saturday,
conference
Sunday.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Cool, man.
Well, hey, yeah, I'll see you out there. We get to work together again. We're just
It's gonna be
counting down the
great.
days till me and you are in the booth again at Idlewild. That's going to be a dream come true.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm stoked about the live podcast too. We got the All Birdies live podcast at Worlds. That's gonna be a ton of fun.
That's the first time we're telling the people about this.
Oh
Hey,
wait, or should we not tell it?
no, we're
Should we
telling
not
them
tell
right now. It's okay. We're going to just do more promo for it later. There's going to be a live podcast the day before the World Championships in Nokia. We're going to have
Yep.
me, Nate Perkins, Seppo Payu, and we're going to have a fourth chair available for any pro player that wants to come off the green of 18 and host the show with us. It's going to be like NFL Game Day style. So we'll tell you some more details on timing. It's probably going to be right after the press conference on DGN. We're going to be doing that on the Jomez YouTube channel. We'll see you there. We'll give you some more info soon. Nate, any final words for the people?
Yeah, it was emotional to watch Ben Callaway win. Super stoked for him, and yeah, I'm gonna miss Norway, man. This is a cool place. This is one of the primary reasons why I came out to Europe this year, was to be here again and just kind of relish in the venues and the settings. So grateful once again. And I'm ready for some rest. I'm flying early in the morning, so ready for some rest. And I'll see you in Estonia, Brian.
That's it. That's a wrap. Good night. Bye, everybody. Bye.